It was a Tuesday, 2001. I woke up at 3 o'clock that morning. It was a Tuesday, I know. That's when I woke up on Tuesdays. We began our journey shortly after, and we'd driven 100 miles when we began to hear the reports on NPR of a plane crashing into the World Trade Center. At first, I thought a small plane by accident, but clearly, as the moments went by, we knew that there was going to be some very, very bad news. It was an emergency for New York City. It was an emergency for America. It was an emergency for the world. I'd never really thought about emergencies like I have since then, up until that point. I began to see the interplay between the words emerge and emergency. And without getting into the etymology today, I will say that in these years since that event on September 11th, 2001, I began to ask myself what emerges from our emergencies. When something happens in our lives or in our worlds that puts us in a crisis, what is being squeezed out of our lives? What is being changed around us? What is being transformed? What of our thinking? What of our behaviors? What of our relationships? What of our values? What of our attitudes? Do the right things go deeper or do we go shallow? When we lower the flag, do we lower our standards? When we raise the flag, are we including all the people that the flag represents? All of the beliefs and all of the attitudes and all of the ethnicities and all of the languages. When we come together and sing, God Bless America, are we singing, God bless my neighbor? God bless my neighbor across the street whose language I do not understand. God bless my neighbor that I work with who is often a pain in the rear. God bless my neighbor who is a member of the other party. What are we saying when we raise a flag? Are we raising the flag to represent our own ideology or our own self-interest? It was an emergency that day. Police and firefighters and rescue workers put aside all of their self-interest and never asked who it was they were saving. They were entering the building to lay their lives on the line to save humanity. And in the months that followed, those who dug through the ashes and the rubble were putting aside their own self-interest for the good of the community, for the good of others. On that day in 2001, people were in the World Trade Center and in the Pentagon whose citizenship was from around the world, whose religious persuasions differed from each other, whose ethnicity was different. And yet we grieved and mourned them all. And we were just Americans and just citizens of the world. What is emerging from the emergencies we face daily? Is it our choice to bring the good from the tragedy and from the tragic moments? We're always in danger of returning to complacency. We're always in danger of returning to being ruled by self-interest. But on this day, let us rededicate ourselves to an ethic of love and what it means to love our neighbor as ourselves. And let us return and redefine what it means to make America great by first focusing on making America good. making America strong in character, making America great in compassion and care for the world, making America good by making America just, making America good by making America a beacon of freedom to which we aspire and we have never and will never fully attain. But we can embody the aspirations of those who did not completely know all they were aspiring for and reach for the goal, the prize of a beloved community, of a nation that is truly a city set on a hill. May that be our aspiration today. All the best to you and to yours. Amen.